What's up, Tube? Welcome to Low Guido's Chop Shop, second best gel blaster channel on the tubes. Tonight I've got some more gel balls to test for you. These ones come from Command Elite Hobbies, and I bought these. You may notice the packet is open already because I have actually been using these on the field. I've been playing some games and using these in my blasters, particularly in my GBB pistols, and this, again, I paid for these with my own money. They weren't provided to me or anything. There's no sponsorship or anything. I just bought them, and when I bought them I was told a few things about how great they were, and I mean, if I was to believe everything that I was told, these things are apparently pretty special. But anyway, before I continue on, I just want to make a note of something that Command Elite Hobbies does that I don't think anyone else in the gel ball industry does. And that is this little thing down here. Let me zoom in for you. Command Elite Hobbies actually has a star rating for their gels, and they actually test all their batches of gels, and then they give them a star rating based on their hardness. So as you can see, this is a 5-star rating. So this means this is the hardest gel, or one of the hardest gels in their repertoire. What I'm told is they'll test every single batch that comes in, and if one batch is, you know, slightly softer, then it'll only get like a 4.5-star rating. And so all their different varieties of gels have a star rating based on the batch that they are. So I think that's a pretty cool thing that they do. It actually says on the back here as well, every batch goes through quality control testing to get an accurate hardness rating prior to packaging. So I think that's what that's about. But let's get into these gels a bit deeper. So they are called Barbarian Blues, if you can read the packet, and of course, as you could probably imagine by the name, they're all rolling away. I should have put a towel down. I don't think my bench is particularly level, which is why I usually put a towel down to stop gels from rolling. Alright. They are blue, as you can see. Now, this is interesting for a couple of reasons. Generally speaking, when hard gels are made, in order to get the gels, I'm not like a gel chemist or anything, but in order to get the gels hard, from what I understand, the less impurities you can add to them, the better they can get the hardness. So by adding pigment to the gels, by adding color, you actually can't get as hard as by having no pigment, which is why, generally speaking, all the hardened gels tend to be like that clear sort of frosted color like this. But these are blue, so that's interesting to think that there is a gel that is, according to Command Elite, 5-star hardness, but it's blue. And that also opens a can of worms with some fields, because some fields have banned the frosted gels. You can't have hardened gels on the field. So by having blue gels, does that bend the rules? Does that get around the rules? Can you kind of cheat a little bit? I don't know. I'm not suggesting anyone does anything, but I'm just saying it does make things a bit more complicated if these gels on appearance don't look any different to the standard blue gels that come in the bag with like your Jingming stock Gen 8. So that's interesting to note. I'm just going to measure the dry gel diameter. Now, someone had a go at me for this in my last video. What do you want to know the dry gel diameter? It's, you know, it's interesting metrics. It's good to know. 2.9 mil dry. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck a bunch of these into a bottle with some demineralized water, and we will grow them. I'm going to grow them for 4 hours. It doesn't have a particular time mentioned on the bag. It just says 1:30 ratio of water. So what I will do is I'll add them to this bottle, and I will get some demineralized water, and we'll start the grow time. I always choose the bottle with the narrowest. Alright, that should be plenty. And I'll just pop these ones in as well. Alright, I'll grab my bottle of demineralized water and we'll get going. Alright. I think I've only got about half a litre left of this. And of course, no funnel. So we just do this awkwardly. Alright, I think that should be enough water for the amount of gels that are in there. Let's sit them there and come back in a few hours, see what's up. Alright, here we are 4 hours later, and we have some gels fully grown. I'm going to go drain the water. Alright, so I've drained the water off, and as you can see, blue gels. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run them through my gel sorting machine so we can sort them out and see how consistent the size is. Alright, if you've seen how this works before, let me refresh your memory. If you have not, then basically there's a little wheel there, not too dissimilar to a magazine feed, which sorts all the gels, and if you have any small, medium or large gels, it just sorts them into that order. Alright, so I have sorted these, and let me just pan down for you. So as you can see, there's some smallish ones that have been caught in the small bottle, and some larger ones that have caught in the large bottle, but the bulk of them is in the mid-range. Now, just for science sake, I'm going to measure some of the oversized ones, because the way this little device is calibrated, it's probably a little bit more picky than I would be for my oversized gels, but I will measure a few of them for you. Alright, so I'll get my oversized gels out, and I'll just grab a few. And we'll just see Alright, so that one is a 7.6. So that was actually fairly oversized by my standards. Just measure another one. That was a 7.7. So 7.5. So fairly oversized. I'm going to grab one which looks a bit smaller. See how that goes. 7.4. 7.4. So 7.4 or bigger, we're going to end up in that end bottle. Alright, let's get rid of these. Alright, I'll get my small undersized bottle, empty them out, see what we've got here. Oh, we've got a little weird egg-shaped one. Let's try this. Six point 7.0, 7.1, 7.1. 7.1 something, close to 7.2. 7.2. 7.1 something I think it was actually. So 6.8. So all of these small ones are quite small. So basically what that tells us is everything in this center bottle is going to be between 7.2 and 7.4. So let's just grab a few here. .4. It's like about 7.39 actually. Fell through just at the end. Seven point 3. Seven point 3. Yeah, so I mean that pretty much proves the theory of the sorter. So between 7.2 and 7.4, so these should all be around 7.3 or thereabouts in there. And as you can see, the bulk of which were in that bottle. So, fairly consistent in terms of size. Obviously, with all gels you do get the odd ones, one or two that are a bit weird. That happens. Gels is gels. Next thing I might do is weigh them. I'll get my scale out and we'll give them away. Give them away. Alright, so I'll get 10 of these gels. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, I just dropped on. Grab another one. Uh, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Alright. Interesting. 2.3 grams. So not only are these the mid-size group, these are the mid-size group. So if you grabbed from the 7.5 size group, you'd expect this, 2.3. But this is from the mid-size group. So these have actually got a bit of weight to them as well. That is interesting. I didn't even know that. Oh, why is weight important? Someone flamed me on my last video for weighing them. They're like, what are you weighing them for? I don't care about weight. Well, you should care about weight because physics. If you have a larger mass doing the same FPS as a lesser mass, the one with the larger mass is going to have more joules, more energy, and therefore go further. Just saying. Anyway. Alright, now it's time for the part that everyone's been waiting for. The Crush-O-Matron 4000, where I'm going to get these Barbarian blue gels, and I'm going to crush them, and we'll see what weight they exert on the scale before they crush. Now, so far we've got a gel which is consistent, heavy, colourful. Now don't tell me they're going to crush hard as well. Surely, if you'd have told me this without me seeing the results myself, I would say there's some crazy bullshit going on. But let's do this. Let's get crushing. Ah, scale turned off. I talked too long. That's what it was. Alright, I'm going to ditch that one because let's not talk too long. Okay, let's go. 6 point something kilos. 6.1 kilos. 5.6 kilos. 6.5 kilos. 7 kilos. 5.9 kilos. 6.0 kilos. Alright, I'll just do 2 more. 5.8. 5.9. Alright, well, they are some formidable crush strengths. Surprisingly, probably a little bit less than I was expecting. I was maybe expecting 7 kilos, but I mean, as I mentioned earlier on, when you add pigment to something, you generally make it a little bit weaker in terms of the crush strength because you're adding pigment to it, which is why, as mentioned previously, all the other ultra hard gels are clear or frosted. 6.1. Yeah, so nonetheless, it's not a bad thing to be a little bit softer. I have actually had field time with these gels, a significant amount of field time actually, and one of the things I really liked about them is they seem to retain their slipperiness, whereas a lot of the ultra hard gels, they get when they get that frosted texture to them, and they end up becoming a bit tacky. And I usually sort of pour the water out of them only just before I start using them because when they dry out they get a little bit tacky, whereas these ones don't suffer from that getting tacky, but they are quite solid. Maybe not quite as hard as the Ultra Elites, but quite solid, quite consistent, and proven on field, and hopefully field legal at most fields. So I don't know at what point in crush weight. Some fields draw the limit, but these ones, I'm calling them about 6 kilos. There was one that crushed at 7 in there, but most of them, on average, we're looking about 6. But I actually really liked these gels when I used them in my GBB. 6.7 that one there, so yeah, 6 to 7 kilos we're looking. Around 6 on average, I think. But these things, in my GBB pistol, they loaded, they fed, and when you looked down the slot in the mag and saw all the blue gels lined up there, there's something cool about it. It just looked cool having the coloured gels in there as well. You could always tell your mag from someone else's mag. I'm a fan. I like them. Anyway, that's enough from me, I think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you do want to buy a patch, you can get the Low Guido's Chop Shop patch from Hardcore Blasters. Go down, have a game, buy a patch, have a good time. Also, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to support my channel, you can buy me a coffee in the link below, or you can just subscribe. Subscribe helps, you know, feed the algorithm, let other people know that my content is out there as well. I feel like knowledge should be shared, and that's the best way we can share the knowledge, is by sharing it around, making sure everyone gets to see it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.